So Volta Finance, it exists for 12 years now, almost 12 years and a half. As Keith mentioned, we are investing in structured finance assets. So what other people name alternative credit. So it's totally different from what you hear for the past two presentations. So our job is to invest in basically credit market through structuring investment. And as Keith mentioned, to perform in the area of between 10 and 12%. It is what we aim to achieve in terms of performance, and we are doing that for the last 12 years. So Volta is managed by AXA IM Structured Finance Department. I'm part of this department. It's a department which invests in alternative credit for the last 20 years. So we are one of the longest and most experienced people investing in structured finance in Europe for the last 20 years. In terms of asset under management, we manage 40 billion euros in structured finance, which makes us the largest investor and the most experienced investor in Europe in this asset class. So here you have an idea of the performance. So of course, Volta suffered a lot during the 2008 and 2009 crisis, as you can imagine, because everybody was confusing everything. So our investment at the end performed very well, but the mark-to-market was very difficult in year 2008 as people confused subprime assets with every structured finance investment. So we were totally absent and outside of subprime and US RMBS, but we suffered a lot in terms of volatility. But at the end, the performance was there. For the last 5 years, you mentioned 12%. It was 2 months ago. Now we are a bit away from the very good performance of 2014 and 15. So we are only at 10.2% for the last 5 years, but still on track with what we target, a performance in the area of 10 to 12% every year. And you can see that there is not a lot of volatility. Here we compare Volta with, let's say, more classic investment, because for you, you're probably much more familiar with investment in classic equity market or classic credit market. So if we compare Volta on 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or since the inception of Volta to classic credit market, you can see that our performance, the performance of the share price, so the share in which you can invest, performed close to 10% since inception, so 12 years ago. We are basically at the same level than the S&P, but we are in Europe, so you can compare that to the MSCI Europe, which is 3%, so we are far above that. And if you look at the last 1 year or 3 years, only the S&P is doing a better performance than us, and probably thanks to the cyclical boost of Trump for the last 2 or 3 years. So we'll see how it will end up, but we are very well performing relative to, let's say, classic investment. And it is really the aim of Volta to benefit from all the premium that exists in structured finance. You all remember that the last big crisis was the subprime, so it was structured finance. And since this crisis, every investment in structured finance benefit from a premium in terms of stigma, in terms of illiquidity, in terms of complexity. So thanks to that, all the investments we can make are still benefiting from an excess remuneration relative to the risk. And it is thanks to this premium that we are able to perform above 10% for the last years. Here we compare, and it is really what people are doing. They generally compare Volta to some of our competitors. So probably some of you are already heard about Carador or Fair Oaks or BGLF, which are very the competitor of Volta. I'm not going to talk about our competitors, but just to mention that in terms of Sharpe ratio, so here there is a Sharpe ratio on 3 years and the Sharpe ratio on 5 years basis. And we have a better Sharpe ratio than all of our competitors. And it is also part of our DNA as an investor. We are looking for building a portfolio which is able to resist in terms of volatility, to be relatively diversified in terms of risk. So I will just give you one figure. When you look at all the underlying assets to which we are exposed when we are managing Volta portfolio, there is more than 700 different credit inside the portfolio. So that's fantastically diversified. There is no way when you invest into Volta that you are going to suffer because there is 1 default or 2 default or 5 default, whatever of this default. Your exposure is really a systemic risk to the overall macroeconomy. So your risk when you invest in Volta is that tomorrow there is a big economic downturn. Your risk is not that a company default. So the portfolio is fantastically diversified. And our job doing structured finance is to capture premium when there is premium, and at the end being exposed to the systemic risk that exists almost everywhere. And just in terms of Sharpe ratio, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of Sharpe ratio. Classic Sharpe ratio for investment in equity are 0.5, 0.6. Here for Volta, we are close to 2%. We are 1.7 or 1.8%. Oh, the Sharpe ratio is just the ratio between the performance and the volatility. So basically, for the last years, we had performances in the area of, let's say, 10%, a bit north than 10%, and the volatility was in the area of 5%, 5 to 6%. So we basically performed twice the level of the volatility. So if you look at classic equity market, volatility is going to be 15%, and the expected performance on equity is 6 or 7% a year. So if that's a Sharpe ratio of 0.5, 0.6. The second thing for Volta is that we invest only in assets which are performing assets. We are not specialized in distressed vehicles. We are investing in performing assets. And the result of that is that the dividend cover is very, very high. So Volta is a company that provides a very large dividend. Our dividend rate here is on 6 months basis, is on annual basis on the left. You can see that the dividend is relative to the NAV. It's between 8 and 7%. Relative to the share price, because the share price is at the moment at 15% discount to the NAV. So that's a discount for you in terms of investing in Volta. We are at between 9 and 10% dividend every year. And the dividend is covered by interest and coupons that we receive from our asset because we invest in performing assets. And the dividend cover is between 1.4 and 1.8% for the last 5, 6, 7 years, or even 8 years. So Volta is paying a very high dividend, 9 to 10% every year relative to the share price, and it is highly covered by the ongoing cash flow that we receive from our assets. So there is no issue for us paying this kind of dividend for the coming years. In terms of where we are, in terms of macroeconomics, because as I said, the main risk is the macroeconomic risk. To us, it's very clear that we are at the end of the credit cycle. I'm sure for the one which invest in credit that you notice that spread was tighter 1 year ago. There has been a bit of volatility last year. It's better this year, but again, at some point there will be some volatility again. So for us, that's very clear that we are at the end of the credit cycle. We have seen the tightest level 1 year or 18 months ago. We are going to see more volatility going forward. And we think we are also basically at the end of the economic cycles after 10 years of growth in the US, same thing in UK. When you look at unemployment rate, we are at the lowest level in UK, in US, in Germany. So there is a lot of signs telling us that we are at the end of the economic cycle. Despite that, and to be transparent and honest, we are not seeing any sign of an imminent or brutal downturn. So our view is that probably this year, next year, the year after, we are going to live in a probably sideways economics with growth between 0 and 1 or 2%, depending of the area. We are not expecting anything brutal. And this kind of environment could be a good environment for equity market, but definitely is a good environment for credit market. Because the economy, even though the economy is not fantastically robust, there is a bit of growth, and that's good to just repay the debt. So we don't expect any significant increase in default in credit market. We expect to see and to continue having some default from time to time, as we have nowadays, but we don't expect anything very brutal. And this kind of environment is pretty supportive for credit because it means that central banks are going to stop increasing rate. It is already the case in the US. So interest rates are going to stay low. So that's supportive for the credit in general. So an example of that is when you look at the downgrade to upgrade history of credit in the US. For example, last year there has been in the US almost twice more upgrades by rating agencies than downgrades. So that's still very supportive in terms of what is the view on credit market here, at least from rating agencies. In Volta, we are, as I said, we invest in structured finance, and most of our investments, so 95% of our investments, are on corporate credits, so on corporate loans. So I'm sure most of you read some press on the loan market saying that the loans are covenant light relative to what they were 5 or 6 years ago. And that's true that the quality of loans nowadays is probably not as good as it was 5 or 6 years ago. So there is a kind of lower quality in the loan market. But this lower quality should also be seen from the point of view of the company, because having no covenant on the loans means that the company is much more able to go through some cycle, some difficult cycle, without being in default. So when we look at the current situation, probably for the same economic situation, it means that we are going to have lower default rates. But when there is a default, because the default will occur far later in the cycle of deterioration of the economy, the recovery will be lower. But if we have, as we think, less default but lower recovery, probably at the end the expected losses are the same. And it is what we think. We think that the current situation is not very different from the situation we have lived with for the last 10 or 15 years or 20 years. So we are not seeing any significant change in the situation for our investments. And probably a word on that to say that coming back to the economic situation, as I said, we think we are near the end of the credit cycles. And something which is very important to notice is that most of our investments in Volta are in CLOs and CLO equity. And when we look at the track record of investment in CLO by year of issuance of those CLOs, just one thing to look at is the performance of the vintages 2006 and 2007. It has been the best vintages for CLO equity. So the CLO equity issued just before the great financial crisis has been the one performing the best. So it could be a bit bizarre and being a bit esoteric, but the reality of that is due to the fact that CLO equity are vehicles which are reinvesting. So those vehicles that was set up just before the crisis benefited a lot from the reinvestment opportunities that were in 2008, 9, 10, 11, so during the crisis and after the crisis. And so I'm not telling you that we are going to have such a kind of crisis in the coming years, but we expect more volatility in the coming years. And we expect our portfolio to benefit tomorrow from the volatility that could happen in credit market. So that it is exactly our investment thesis at the moment, to invest in assets that have what we name a positive optionality to volatility. So meaning that if tomorrow in credit market there is more volatility, we will benefit from this volatility. And it is what we are looking for at the moment. And here, just to mention it, you have our track record at AXA IM in terms of investment in these assets, and you can see that every vintages we perform 2, 3, 5, 7 points above the market average. So we are also good in selecting the assets we are investing in. A very simple example, and probably I will stop with that in terms of what we are doing. Our job, basically, because I'm not going here to enter into every detail of the type of investment in which we are investing, but our business is basically to invest in assets which are yielding between 8 and 20%, 8 to 15% more of the investment we are doing. And because those investments are good investments, after 2, 3, 4 years, we are able to sell those positions at a lower yield, so at a higher price. And basically our job is to invest in assets yielding 8 to 15%, selling part of it at a yield around 5% and generating a gain from that on top of the ongoing performance of these assets. So when I look at the current portfolio of Volta at the moment, Volta portfolio is yielding 11%, 11.5% at the moment. So we have a portfolio which is really on track with what we have delivered for the last 5, 10 years. So still able to perform 10 to 11%. And there is some good chance if we continue to be able to rotate the portfolio and to trade the portfolio to generate extra gains on top of this, let's say, 11.5% yield. So that's really what we want to do. Yeah, and that's also can open the floor for questions.
Can I ask a question? You mentioned the shares in the fund and the trust are trading at a 15% discount to NAV. Is that something that you, the board, want to do something about, or do you just let the market look after itself?
Of course, as a company, we are looking to narrow the discount. So the board of Volta, because Volta is a listed vehicle with a board, the board decided to hire our man to help us marketing Volta. We are also doing that with Edison. I'm regularly in London or some other places to market Volta to shareholders. So yes, we are doing a bit more effort to narrow this gap. The discount was 20% 6 months ago. Now we are at 15%. I can't assure that we are going to be successful, but at least we are doing things to narrow this discount.
The mix of your portfolio with regards, so I'm just trying to understand if we get into a situation where you're a forced seller of an asset, do you hold things, what percentage of your portfolio could you hold to maturity and at least you know you're getting your money back? Do you understand that? And thereby we know that if it's yielding X at the minute, we'll get that number and it's going to be okay. Or could you get a situation where there's forced sellers all over the marketplace and you simply can't get out? And I do recognize that a bad market gives you opportunity.
The first thing to mention is that in Volta, we have almost no leverage. The only leverage that we have is that part of our investments, so CLO debt, are leveraged for a repo, but this repo is limited to $40 million, so it is 12% of Volta. And this 12% of Volta is less than the ongoing cash flow that we receive from our assets. So there is almost no way we are going to be forced seller. And as I mentioned, Volta is a listed vehicle, so as a manager of Volta, there is no redemption. So if people want to get in or get out from Volta, they are selling the shares, but there is no redemption for us. So there is almost no way we are going to be forced seller. And one way for us to benefit from the volatility is what I mentioned, is that the cash flow that we receive from our assets are very, very high. At the moment, our cash flow represents 14% of the NAV every year, of the net asset value. So meaning that every year we have 14% to reinvest, just considering the ongoing cash flow. And we have assets with mature, which are reimbursed every year as well. So if I look at the last 12 months, during the last 12 months, we reinvested 120 million from portfolio of 300 million. So the duration of our investment is relatively short. The duration is only 3.5 years. So meaning that in the coming years, we are going to have a lot of cash to reinvest. So that's really part of the strategy, to consider assets which are either paying very strong cash flow, like CLO equities, or investments which have a relatively short or mid-term maturity, so that if we are right thinking that in 2 years' time or 3 years' time, there is a bit of volatility and there is opportunity, we will be able to seize these opportunities.
Can you just explain why the increase to CLO equity has been so significant over the last couple of years, and what are the risks of that if we did go into a wider spread environment, and also what are the fees on the fund?
So the fees, AXA, we are paid 1.5% on the investment, so it's our fees, which is basically reasonable when we compare to competitor. On the CLO equity, the idea is that we are investing in CLO equity and CLO debt for many, many years. We are doing that at AXA for 20 years and in Volta for the last 12 years. And at the moment, we think that tomorrow we will see more volatility on credit, on the loan side. And really one way to benefit from this volatility is to invest in CLO equity, because the CLO equity we invested in are the one that has been created a few months ago. So they have inside the CLO, there is 5 years of reinvestment period. So if in the coming 5 years there is at some point some volatility in credit, those CLO equity will benefit from the ability to reinvest during this period. So you have the possibility when you invest in CLO equity to perform better than the current yield of the portfolio, while when you invest in CLO debt, you are going to just receive your coupons. There is no way to perform better. And again, you saw that when I was mentioning the performance by vintages, the CLO equity of the vintages 2006 and 2007, when we purchased them 12 years ago, we were expecting performance in the area of 12 to 13%, and we ended up at AXA with between 18 and 21% performance. So all those positions perform better thanks to the crisis of 2008, 2009. Which is, I know it will probably need more than 2 minutes to make you understanding all the details of that, but basically, CL Equity are able to benefit from volatility because it is an investment that is managed and able to reinvest through time, which is totally different from the other ABS, RMBS, or whatever instrument exists on structured finance. This one is very, very particular.
What is your relationship with AXA? I see the name on there, but I don't see, whether you're a subsidiary or what. So I'm a bit confused.
We are the investment company of AXA. So AXA IM, AXA Investment Manager, is the investment manager of AXA. So we are managing 95% or 96% of AXA money, and of course we are managing money for external clients. So AXA IM globally manages 750 billion. AXA Structured Finance, the department I work with, manage 40 billion of structured finance assets. But we are a very large platform managing the money for AXA.